Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. And we're gonna do this thing, and this thing is gonna be 10 before the end. Now, this is one of those types of videos that if you are a YouTuber, or a booktuber, it's kind of like one of those like end of the year tags or like panic mode or something like that. And since I don't do a ton of tags here, I really only do like 2 of them or so. I just am straight up gonna do the 10 before the end type of thing. Last year, I think I did pretty good. I think I got like 6 out of the 10 done. But I try to kind of make it a challenge, and I'll explain how I'm doing that. But first off, thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the Book Refuge. Welcome back to a Tuesday video. If you haven't been watching during the season of Blood of My Blood. For now, I'm going back to having Tuesday videos, though I'm strongly considering in the new year changing up my schedule, reducing just 1 video a week so that I would have 3 instead of 4. And then whenever I do a review of like a season of something, that would take up the Tuesday spot. But I'm not sure. And for now, since I'm not sure, I'm going to keep doing a Tuesday video because that's what I've done for how many years. I'm just trying to figure out a way to like move stuff around so that it has more breathing room, because I think that could actually help my channel. YouTube's made a lot of changes, and it always makes it really scary as a creator, especially one who, I mean, it would be a big deal for anyone because some channels have employees they really have to worry about, whereas it's just little old me here. But the way that YouTube has switched things around again, my channel's just taken a huge hit. So hopefully by going back to regular like book recommendation content and stuff on Tuesdays, that'll help boost it up. I know not everyone cares about Outlander. I mean, shocking, I know. But anyway, you know me, at the beginning of these I always gotta say this. So if you're hanging out with me, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I put up videos 4 days a week. I also have a Patreon where there is about a vlog about every 10 days that is exclusive to them. There's also an exclusive review every month of a book that gets voted on by my patrons. And yeah, there's just all the behind the scenes fun stuff. I like to go live there with them once or twice a month to just hang out. So lots of fun ways you can help me continue to do what I do here, so that when YouTube decides to make changes like that, it doesn't cause me to have to go into a panic mode or anything, right? Because I know I can rely on my patrons. So today, as I said, we're going to be doing a 10 before the end, which is kind of, it's a cute little saying, but really what it means is 10 books on my TBR that I want to get to before the end of the year. And again, sometimes people will do like a book tag where it has a few other things you want to do before the end of the year. Oop, there's my drink, by the way. I was like, where did my energy drink go? And in this case, I gave myself just kind of like 2 little parameters. One of them was I tried not to put any books that are like arcs or books I already am going to have to read on this list, because that just seemed kind of like, well, what's the point in making that? Those would just be on my regular TBR. So there's only one actually that is on that, and that's because, as you'll see, it's not one that I'll be getting an advanced copy of. It's one that I just really want to read for myself before the end of the year. And then the rest of them are all actually books from previous TBRs that I've never gotten around to, right? And so there's that. There's also 2 fan fictions I put on here because I did have a really big fan fiction TBR and I barely read any of those. So yeah, and then the other thing too, and this one wasn't a rule, it's just where I thought I would have the best chance of reading as many of these as possible. A lot of these are from my audio TBR. So they're books I've bought on Audible that are just hanging out that I haven't gotten around to because I have so many ALCs and ARCs that I have to read. So those aren't really parameters that anyone else sticks to. Those aren't rules. That's just for me when I was picking out these 10 books. Like, if it's already going to be on my TBR, I felt like it didn't need to be on here, except for one. So all of the rest will be like that. So we're going to go through this list here. I have it written down. I also pulled up the Goodreads for some of these because some of them have been on my TBR for so long that I don't even remember what they're about. I just know that I want to get around to them. So let's dive into these. Again, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know which books you want to read before the end of the year. All right? So let's start off with the one that is also on my November TBR. Okay, so when you watch my, well, I mean, a couple of these will probably be on my November TBR because now that I made this video, I'm going to want to read those in November and December here. But the big one that I'm just dying to get to that I absolutely will read before the end of the year is Empire of the Dawn by J. Kristoff, okay? So this will be the third book in his vampire trilogy that he has. I'm sure it will absolutely try to crush me. I have pre-ordered the audiobook for this one. I am ready to sink my teeth into it, pun intended, and see what our Dark Lord has for us, okay? So this series takes place in a world where vampires rule, and people are treated like cattle and basically herded up to be used as toys and food for the vampires who basically rule everything. There are a few vampire kings and queens who own kind of different parts of the world, and there is no one left to defeat them. And so everyone is supposedly doomed, except, of course, there is a prophecy, there is a chosen one, but that chosen one is someone we would never expect. And there is also a, you know, haggard, scarred, kind of war veteran type character who is what is called a Silver Saint, who they actually are part vampire themselves, who actually hunt vampires, and they actually subsist on the blood of vampires instead of on people and things like that. And so that's the setup of this world. It's a very vague explanation. There have been 2 books so far. They are epic. They are chilling, and I can't look away from them. They are fantastic. And so I can't wait for book 3 to come out. It comes out November 4th, and I just plan to pretty much drop everything and listen to that. Though I'll probably break it up into a few days because his books are just too heavy usually to read all in one sitting, but they're amazing. So anyway, that is number 1 on the list. I want to get to that one very, very soon. Next up, I actually have an either or on this list, and I'll explain why. I have gotten behind on one of my favorite authors, and she is a historical romance author. And you guys know I've been quite behind on a lot of historicals this year. It just hasn't been the thing I've reached for the most, and I don't understand, right? I don't understand how that's happened, but it has, right? And this author that is one of my favorite, who is currently writing right now, is Minerva Spencer. And she has a series where actually finally book 7 is coming out, like probably the day you see this video, it's finally coming out. And this one was book 6 in the series, or is it book 5? It's book 5, and book 6 is the one just coming out. This one is a very Bellamy Christmas. And so it's funny because we've come all the way back around and it's almost going towards Christmas for this one. And this one is supposed to kind of get us caught up on a lot of the characters, but there is supposed to still be a romance in this one as well as letting us catch up on the other characters in it. So this is a very Bellamy Christmas. It's still a full-size one, and I do have the audiobook bought for this one. The either or part of it is there's also another series of hers, and she's supposed to have another one in that series coming soon too. And this one is called I.O., as in I.O., the Shrew. And this one is a part of the Hale family, the Americans in London. Now, the first one in this series was Balthazar the Spare. And we get introduced to this family that I won't go into all the details in it right now. But they were basically raised in a commune. And this was set in... I don't even remember the year that this one's set. It's Victorian. And they end up discovering that they have a family. They have an older brother who's actually a duke. And they get adopted into the family. And the thing is that they don't fit into the culture, not only because they're Americans, but they were from a very, like, you know, liberal and empowered family. Like, there wasn't monogamy. They were, I think, partially, like, it was almost like nudist there too, or something like that along those lines. And now they're in English society and they're supposed to fit in so far. So Balthazar his story was very interesting. That one was actually an older woman romance, which I really loved that one. And then Io, I believe, was Balthazar's twin. It's been so long, I'm so behind. So I also have the audiobook of this one. What I'm hoping for is that when I finally tap into one of these, whichever one I get myself into, that it will make me want to read more and I'll read the other. So I put either or, maybe and or both, I don't know. But I want to read her books again. And she finally has Catherine coming out, and so I'm hoping that will push me to get to this one as well. So yeah, I've just been bad about it. You guys know I'm doing my darndest. And those are two of the historicals I want to get to if I do get to one. Okay, continuing down the list of, as I said, most of these have audiobooks. One of them I really want to get to is Crashing Hearts by K.A. Knight. This was actually sent to me in PR from her. And I've actually read book 1 already, which I enjoyed. And book 1 was MM. This one is MM. And book 3 is actually FF. And I'm really intrigued by that one as well. But this one was set up really good. This series is Pine Valley College. And again, I have the audio purchase for this one. Of course, she doesn't have the blurb because this was a special edition here. But this one is supposed to be about... okay, so it was Skylar... And I know one of the... Skylar and Bones. Okay. And I know one of them was a, like, mechanic and racer. And one of them, I think, is from a wealthy family that actually he... oh, it's so cool looking, you guys. Sorry, I'm, like, now looking at... But I know there was, like, suspense in the series. There's a racing team. And yeah, it's supposed to be like college, but they're pretty badass in it. And there definitely was some sexual tension between these two. K.A. Knight basically only writes enemies to lovers. Like, that's all I've ever read them write. But the setup for this, I remember, was really, really good. It's just been so long, and shame on me. But I really enjoyed book 1, which was, as I said, an MM as well. And one of the heroes in that one was a racer, but he didn't go to college. It was his sister who went to the college. And we get introduced to this crew of people. And then this one, I believe one of the guys goes to the college and one of them runs the, like maybe he's the owner. Again, I don't remember. I'm sorry. I didn't look that one up because I forgot the blurb wasn't written on the back. The other ones that didn't have blurbs, I pulled them up. But I want to read this one. I have the audiobook set to go. And then book 3 is the sister of the guy from book 1. And then I don't know who she's going to be with, but that one's FF. So I think that one will be really, really good. So we have Crashing Hearts. Look at that couple. That's so cool. And I definitely want to get around to that one. Okay, another one I can't wait to start is The Hermit by Michelle Hurd. So I just read this last week, God of Vengeance, which was another one of her audios that I would have put on this video, but I got to it already. So look at me there, getting to everything. And this one is from the series that she wrote after that one. And it is kind of like inspired by the tarot, right? So this one is Mafia Empire Book 1, and I downloaded the audio of it because I love Michelle Hurd's audiobooks. That's my favorite way to listen to them. And this one here, we have a bit of the blurb, and this one is an arranged marriage, so that the heroine's sister could marry for love. But 3 years later, I'm a widow, and my father arranges for Sierra to marry someone anyway. The assassin / arms dealer is as dangerous as he's quiet, which is very unnerving. Needless to say, I'm not happy at all. A deal was a deal, and I kept my end of it, so there's no way on God's green earth I'll sit back and smile like a good little girl. I'll fight for Sierra's freedom so she won't have to face the hell I was forced to endure. Ooh, sounds like it's a very bad arranged marriage. But Dominic doesn't make things easy for me. He's determined to get his hands on half of my dad's empire. When he moves into my family home, my entire routine unravels. I have to fight for more than just my sister's freedom because I'm in danger of losing my heart. I refuse to admit I'm drawn to his darkness. If I do, God knows whether we'll survive the fire raging between us. Yeah, I really can't wait to read this one. I just love how Michelle Hurd does stuff, you guys. I won't lie. It's usually to the point, simple, like get into the story, make them fall in love, get out, you know? And I don't know. That appeals to me in ways that I can't always explain, you know? So really looking forward to that one. Okay, then here we got, like I said, some of these have been on here for a long time. So we have Hexed here, all right? Hexed has been on my TBR literally since the beginning of the year. Oh my gosh, look, I even have a bookmark in here that I've forgotten that I had because that's how long it's been, okay? That is so cute. I love it. But I have the audiobook for this one. I have both the ARC edition. This is from November 2024 is when they gave me this. And it has literally been a year. Oh my God, I need to get to Hexed, okay? I have the audiobook. I've heard how good this book is. I just have not started it, okay? My seasons have been so full. So Hexed, which this one is supposed to be Mafia as well. And it's like inspired by the Sea Witch, basically. Yeah, I know that she's the witch who steals his heart. I believe like Vanessa, and there's Enzo, Loverboy Mariano is a businessman by day and a prince of the underworld by night. Underboss to a mafia syndicate. He answers to no one except his father. When he's tasked with marriage, Enzo doesn't think twice until he meets his fiance's cousin. Okay, so yeah, this one is a cousin's fiance, but I need to get around to Hexed, okay? It's a shame that it's taken me so long, and we need to do it. I need to get to that one. Okay, next up, I have one that, wow, this one's real the throwback. But I had bought the Audible. So one of the things I did is when I was putting this together, I looked back on my Audible at some of the oldest books I purchased that I haven't read yet. And one of them is this one. This one's been on so many TBRs through the years, I can't even tell you. This is one of the oldest books in my book recommendation form. That's how old it is, right? I've had that form open for you guys for almost 5 years. Damn, it's way back there. But this one is called Night by Kristen Ashley. And this one, see, I'm going to read the back because it's literally been so long, but I own the audiobook for this one. I know that Kristen Ashley is a favorite for many. This book was originally published in, let's see if it even says in here. This one was originally published in, wow, 2012. This was originally published in 2012. That's insane. Well, I haven't had this book that long, but I've had a long time. So this one says, Anya Gage has learned that to get anything good in life, you have to work for it. She has no expectations, no dreams. When she finds herself at a party where she doesn't want to be, and she meets Night. Night Sebring knows who he is, what he wants, and what he likes, and he gets it. But he never expected something as sweet as Anya Gage to wander into his bedroom during a party he did not expect to be having to borrow his phone. Night tries to leave Anya to the life she deserves of white picket fences and a man who watches football on Sundays, good, normal, and clean. But when Anya comes to his nightclub and finds herself in a situation, he knows someone has to look after her. He can't fight it anymore, and he decides that man will be him. Night teaches Anya that just as with the bad, in life you should also expect the good, and he teaches her this by giving it to her. But Night has a dark past, and just as he desires Anya for exactly who she is, he fears that when she finds out the man that he has become and always intended to be, she'll leave him for good, normal, and clean. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this has like BDSM in it, and that's what a lot of the dark is in it. And I also think he's like secret criminal stuff too. But anyway, I have the audio for this one, and I want to get around to it because I've had it for ages. Okay, then there's one that I cannot believe I haven't got to yet. Another audio. As I said, most of these were audio. And this one is For the Fans by Nyla K. All right. Part of it is this audiobook is super long, but I have both the ebook and the audiobook. I know this one is a stepbrother, and it has to do with OnlyFans, and they end up making like erotic content together, and then they fall for each other. So I know it's like a bit taboo, and I also know that people are obsessed with this. Now, part of the reason also it's taking me a while is that I read Nyla K like before Nyla K was cool, okay? and her stuff is very taboo, very uncomfortable. And I'm not as into that as I used to be. However, when we're talking about like stepbrother stuff, doesn't really bother me. It was the one that I really didn't care for was actually the one that it was like the parents fall for their daughter's boyfriend or something. I just didn't care for that one. And I know there's some other of her books that really offend people. That stuff doesn't bother me. Whatever people choose to write as fiction, I just don't read it if I don't want to read it, right? But part of it is that for the fans, I know how much a lot of people love this one and say it is really good, which is why I bought it, which is why I've had it saved literally since it came out in 2023. So I have the audiobook. This has been on so many TBRs. I'm almost embarrassed to like say it on here again because I've had it on so many TBRs, but we're going for it. We're going to see where we can fit it in, but we're going to put it in the 10 before the end. All right. It's there. Okay, then the last one that is a book, and then like I said, I have 2 fan fictions to share, is The Weaver by Tiffany Roberts. This is just literally criminal that I haven't read this couple yet. Like, what am I even doing with myself? I will tell you that. What am I even doing with myself? Okay. The one after this has just come out, The Delver, and I still haven't read The Weaver. Now, to defend myself a little bit, this one I don't actually have a audiobook for because they haven't gotten around to releasing it yet, and they actually just put up a note about it being like delayed. So part of the reason I was waiting is I was waiting for the audiobook for this one because I really love Tiffany Roberts audios. But at this point, it's just embarrassing. They're some of my favorite authors, one of my favorite author duos that there is, and The Delver is already out as well, which is the next one. So I really want to read The Weaver. And even if the audiobook isn't going to be out before the end of the year, I'm going to try to get to this one. Because I just love their dirty monster spider smut. Okay, I do. I love it. Okay, I love it. All right. Now, the 2 fan fictions that I have, as I shared, I had a TBR of 20 fan fictions that I wanted to read this year, and I've only read 4 of them, okay? Part of it is that I get new fan fictions all the time added into my Kindle, and sometimes when I'm in the mood for them, I want a shorter one, or I want a different pairing than what I have on that list. And so, you know, it's always just guidelines anyway. It's just guidelines. But I picked 2 off of the list that I think will be doable because they're not too terribly long. And one of them is a Lucius and Hermione, and one is a Severus and Hermione. So this first one here I want to get to is called Letting Sleeping Dragons Lie. And this one is a Lucius and Hermione. And this is the little blurb for this one here, okay? It says, the decision to come back to the now completely restored Hogwarts had not been an easy one to make. She, Hermione that is, had thought long and hard before concluding that even without Harry and Ron, returning to her former school to finish her exams was indeed the right thing to do. Wasn't it? Encountering Lucius Malfoy and striking a deal with Draco might change that. This is a Lucius and Hermione fic in which Snape didn't die. I hope you enjoy. Of course, that's a little author's note right there. So that is the setup. Let's see what a couple of the tags were because that can help sometimes. It says return to school, making new friends, old enemies, fluff and smut. We love it. School uniforms, a bit of a foot fetish. Maybe I'll stop reading all of the Kiki tags there. But this one is just about 100,000 words. And so that one doesn't seem too bad. So this is my Lucius and Hermione one I have, which sounds good to me, Letting Sleeping Dragons Lie. And then the other one, and this one I really want to get to. It's been on here forever. So this one doesn't have as well of a blurb written because it is from, what's it called? fanfiction.net instead of AO3, and those don't always have the best blurbs for them. But this one is, as I said, a Lucius and Hermione, or Severus and Hermione. This one is 100,000 words. And this one is The Princess of Gryffindor, and this is kind of what it says right here. It says, once upon a time, there were 3 friends who went off to search for Horcruxes. Under the terrible influence of one of these Horcruxes, the young man named Ron decided to abandon the others. The other young man, Harry, made a rash decision to join him, a decision that was influenced by a dark connection, and the dark is a capital D, that he never completely understood. Bringing their third friend, Hermione, with them, they returned to Ron's home for just one night to rest and good food before retiring to their task. Unfortunately, the Dark Lord had used his connection to once again influence Harry's thoughts, and that night the burrow was not a sanctuary, but a trap. Many, many good people died that night, but 2 lived, if you could call it living. This is the story of how they finally came together and changed their world. So, this one I believe is that it says, so this is also what it says at the top here. It says, no Harry, no Ron, no hope. A broken Hermione goes through the motions of living until the one comes who can truly make her feel alive again. This one is canon through literally a page number, page 309 of Deathly Hallows. It then becomes an alternative universe with multiple character deaths. It is Severus Snape and Hermione Granger. Ooh, that just got me all excited for it again. There's a reason this one's on the list, okay? Okay. So, those are the 2 fics that I want to get to. I have also downloaded some really great Hermione and Draco ones lately, but those are the 2 that I put on this list anyway. That doesn't mean I won't read more, but those are the ones we're at. So, there you go, guys. Those are my 10 before the end. Quite an interesting mix, I know. Again, a lot of them I rely on audio for this because of the fact that if I'm reading and it's not in audio, it's usually a book I have to get through, right? It's one of my Patreon books. It's a book for Noelle, the author I work for. Or it's a book for a pre-order for an annotated book. And so by choosing audiobooks for the most part, I have a better chance of getting to them, right? I have a better chance of squeezing one in when I'm doing other tasks than if I pick just purely physical books. So that was kind of my reasoning for a lot of those. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, hype this video if you are able to. You can do that on either your laptop or your phone by scrolling down to the section where it says you can hype the video. That we will see if that ends up helping videos, but it appears that it will lately. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.